Today, we are talking about humanizing AI and navigating authenticity in modern advertising. Now, I'm going to try and do my best to stay tuned into everyone here and also try and read the chat and also try and read my slides as we go. So hopefully this will all go okay. There you go. Make sure that Make Ugly Ads is in the frame there. We're good. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff here. I'm going to try and move really fast here. This is the AI agenda. I'm going to try and move fast through a lot of this. So try and let me know in the chat if you want me to slow down or something. I don't know. You can also call me today. You can call me Barry Hott. Barry Hott. I am known for a few things in the space. One of which is I have a course called Building Ads with Barry, which I run, which we just started that cohort. We're in the second week now. I also work on AdCrate. I advise AdCrate with Alex, who we just heard from. I do my own consulting. I work with a few clients of my own. I've been a growth advisor and consultant. I've been doing this stuff for a long time. I've been in the Facebook ads world for since 2008. So that's 17 years now. I've studied billions of dollars in ad spend, and I've also run almost $1 billion myself in ads, but I've also had access to tons of accounts. In my time, I've studied things from like AT&T to Athletic Greens to Lumen Skin and Keeps and Urban Stems and Nuts.com. I've studied a lot of stuff across tons of verticals, and I like to try and boil down what really matters across all of that instead of just like industry specific stuff. And lastly, I'm known for making ugly ads. For anyone who is interested in what, I saw some people talking about that in the last presentation when Dara mentioned it. I think you can still find on Motion's YouTube maybe a presentation I did a while back, I think, about making ugly ads. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but Google Barry Hott ugly ads and we'll dig into it. So again, I'm going to move fast here. First thing we're going to say, don't make ads, make content that sells. Like, I'm just trying to lay the foundation here for everyone, because what we're about to talk about a lot is actually organic content. And the reason why we're going to be talking about organic content is because it's the content that your audiences pay attention to. Your audience isn't on social to see ads. They're there for relevant content. So advertise accordingly. Hold on. Yeah. And to make ads that convert, study what your audiences are consuming and make content that feels like it belongs there, right? Your competition isn't other ads or other advertisers. It's everything else in the scroll. Ads on social are skippable. So like, make people not skip them. That's, if you can't get people to not skip your ads, if people skip your ads, they're not going to pay attention. So I don't care how pretty your ad is. If people skip it, they don't see it at all or care. And the trick here and the key is to use empathy. We're talking about empathizing for your audience and your customer. So I'm going to try and make this a little bit fun here. Let me see if I can make sure I can see all of your comments. Can you tell what's real? I'm going to show two videos. One is going to be AI and one is going to be real. These are not ads. All right. This is ad. This is not ad. Sorry, this is video A. Can you see that? There's no sound. It's just a bird, falcon, in fact, flying there. All right, and then this is B on the right. All right, if you think A is real, please type the letter A. If you think B is real, type the letter B. If you think they're both fake, press C. If you think neither of them are real, press D. Interesting. Lots of answers. All right. Let's see, we're on both side by side there. So, fun fact, this one on the left is actually a real video. This is the original. That is a real video mounted on the back of a Falcon. And this video on the right, I took a still screenshot from this video right here on the left and had Veo 3 create this video with a very simple prompt. So on the left is real, on the right, which is very smooth, that's AI generated. Now, one of the things I like to note about this, and the reason why I want to bring this up, is because as hard as I tried, and maybe if I had more time, I could have gotten it to do it better. The one on the left is real and it's bouncing, and it's, you know, it's an action camera on the back of a real live falcon who's flapping its wings and it's jostling. The one on the right, it's smooth. It's like it's gliding. I couldn't get it to make that shaky camera effect in AI. And so when we're going to be talking about it in a little bit about how one of the things we'll talk about is how AI can sometimes be too perfect and not ugly enough. That is an example I thought was pretty relevant there. Stabilized. Cool. All right. Can your audience tell? Do they know that stuff is AI generated? Do they care? Do any of you know or care? What kind of content does your audience consume? Are people consuming AI content? Can AI replicate the kinds of content your audience consumes? And something important to think about is, are you part of your audience or no? So really important as marketers, like we often think about, like, how do we think of things as marketers, but we need to get out of our own heads and put ourselves in the shoes of our audience when we're thinking about this stuff. And relevance is everything here. The social algorithms learn from who pays attention and for how long. So that's how it defines relevance and understands relevance, is just if someone will pay attention to it and continue paying attention to it. And then so on. That's both true for organic content and paid ads. And again, almost everything we're going to be talking about here for a while, and I'm going to try and move quickly, is about organic content because it relates to your ads. Relevance is multidimensional. Again, I will send out this deck after. I don't want to touch on all these bullets, but my main point here is if you look on the right, you can see 3 different images. I think a couple of these are actually screenshots, stills from videos, but you can see like a get ready with me, a bass fisherman, and a chess player. The chance that all 3 of these is relevant to one person is pretty unlikely. I'm sure there somewhere is one or 2 people in this planet, maybe even one of them might be in this conversation right now, who would be relevant to all 3 of these things: chess, bass fishing, and get ready with me, makeup, and whatever video. But the important thing here is you might still be able to sell a product to all 3 of these people. You might be able to make a different piece of content that is relevant to the people that each of these pieces of content are relevant to, but these pieces of content are not going to be relevant to the same person. And you can know that within the first frame. As soon as these things scroll into frame, you know whether or not this is relevant to you. So I don't know. Shout to me if any of these are relevant to any of you. I'd be interested to know. But yeah, these are all different functions of relevance, and it's like a multidimensional spectrum. Everyone has subconscious content blockers. Now, if you've seen me talk about this before, I've actually called them ad blockers. I don't call them ad blockers anymore because it's a content blocker. Feed content is so relevant now and so personalized to users that users expect content to be so relevant to them. They're literally on high alert to anything that doesn't matter to them immediately, and they will skip it. So if it doesn't immediately, unambiguously say like, this is for you, people skip it. Which is why I say to blend in to stand out. You want to blend in and look like what people are expecting to see. Otherwise, if it looks like something that's clearly an ad or clearly not what they're there to see, they're going to skip it. So we're going to shift over and we're going to talk a little bit about the problem with AI content here. And some of these are going to be hilariously similar to some of the problems with real content. First,
am I real? Is this real? How can you tell? And what is real? I don't know. Do people care? Does your audience care? Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see.
Is that AI or is that real? She's not blinking, seems fake. Well, one of the things I noted here is sometimes it can be imperfect, sometimes it can be too perfect, sometimes it doesn't match much of the feed, or it can decrease trust. And also there's legal and ethical risks here that I want to flag. By the way, so a little warning here, little FTC warning here. You got to make sure if you're going to be using these ads if you're going to be using AI in your ads, like don't be deceptive. So if the second you start making content where you're saying like, I had an experience where the AI is saying that, that starts to cross a line. Be really careful about that. I don't want to get too political. I don't know if the FTC is going to prosecute anyone for that, but anymore. I don't know if the FTC even exists still, but that's a separate problem here. Just try and stay safe, and overall, don't deceive your customers. Now, the problem with real content, you'll notice here, I said AI content can be imperfect, and it can also be too perfect, right? I showed you the bird that wasn't moving enough. It was too smooth, right? That was too perfect. But the problem with real content too is that marketers, traditional marketers like many of us here, have learned how to make things perfectly, because we have generationally learned about marketing from years and years, generations of marketers who used to make pretty things for print and TV and all these places where content was supposed to be pretty, but it doesn't have to be pretty. So don't make things too perfect. The other problems with, real content is when you're making real content can sometimes be terrible, can sometimes be really imperfect if you don't make it thoughtfully enough. Production cycles are slow. It can be much more expensive. Quality can be inconsistent. There's bottlenecks working with creators, and there's going to be lower quantity, right? You can get more quantity made with AI. Now, is this AI or is this real? Am I real? Is this real? How can you tell? And what is real? I don't know. Do people care? Does your audience care? Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, that's me. That's real. So that's actually the audio that I used to make this previous one back here. Oops, this one.
Am I real?
I took my audio from that, ran it through ArcAds and put it in there. And that's my audio being said as a woman. And I'll note, I actually have successfully used that woman cutting a cucumber in ads. And not that many people realize it's AI or care. So anyway, what native means on modern social media and why it matters. So we're going to talk about, in the past we've talked about calling this ugly ads or lo-fi media. It's a little bit different now because native has a lot of meanings. But what I'm talking about when I say native and when someone says native to social or native to Meta or native to Instagram, whatever, it's what people are consuming there. So there's like viral videos that are low resolution. You can see like this is an example I pulled. This video has almost 55 million views, and it's like super low res garbage video quality, right? Like it's a dash cam, internal, external dash cam, this thing on the right here. And this person who has 42,000 followers made a piece of content that got 55 million views. So this is what people, I'm not saying everyone consumes this, but this is seen by a lot of people. And this is the kind of content people are watching, one of the kinds of content that people are watching on these platforms. So it's not, this is why when I say make ugly ads, make ugly whatever, it's stuff like this. It's just not perfect, but it's really about relevance. Relevance is the key. And then native isn't just UGC. People think when they're like, oh yeah, you got to make it like social native, that means it's got to be UGC. No, there's so much. Think about the stuff that you consume on Instagram on a normal day. There's probably clips from the news, funny things, sports, beauty, podcast clips, stuff in nature. You might get affirmations. I think my mom probably looks at content like that. Shout out to my mom. I feel like there's a lot of like security camera footage that goes viral from like someone, a porch pirate on the right here. But all of this is native. But it's just all in all different ways. And the thing that I usually look at is like, what is the stuff that gets tons of views? Just because Vogue makes pretty content doesn't give you the right to say like, oh, okay, well, I want my content to be as good as Vogue. The Vogue audience still probably doesn't even want that much pretty stuff. You can go study their content, but like what you should be looking for is making content that gets broad reach. And gets massive views. That's where you want to be finding inspo from in terms of what's native. What isn't native on social is I think that's absolute garbage. And also AI will be able to make stuff like that easily anytime soon. So it's even more relevant. But what's not native on social is what consumers aren't consuming. It's irrelevant, slow, and ambiguous hooks, stiffed product demos with actors, bad storytelling, inauthentic content, traditional marketing aesthetics, and ads for other platforms. All of this stuff is not native on social. It will not work anymore. Like, it hasn't worked for a long time, and it's going to be harder and harder for that stuff to work. AI is fundamentally changing the feed. Let's talk a little bit about AI slop. Has anyone talked about AI slop yet in this in this series of videos of lives? Okay, great, because I love AI slop a little bit. This is the yeah, it looks real for a little bit, but then it's clearly not real. I mean, to me, it's clearly not real. I think there's plenty of people out there that watch that and are like, whoa, those people drowned. But that's a new thing where people are making lots of different style of videos. There's just so much out there, and some of it's very realistic, some of it's not so much, but it's about to get a lot more realistic thanks to Veo. And thanks to Google, and that's just getting started. Literally today is the worst it'll ever be. It's only going to, AI videos are only going to get better and only going to get more realistic and believable. And a lot of this stuff plays on your emotions. It exploits your curiosity, your novelty. It's going to be desensitizing and fatiguing. And it's becoming more common. It's stuff like this should be tagged. Should be tagged in the content, but even then, you don't really see that when you're seeing the content. So I'm wondering how much the systems might start to filter some of this. And some people might like this stuff. Some people might not understand it's fake. It's a weird world we live in, and it's a weirder world we're about to be living in. So what's the AI impact on content volume and quantity? See this chart right here? Completely made up by ChatGPT. Thank you, AI. So you can just have AI make data for whatever point you want and make a chart for it. So don't reference this, except that you wanted to say this is what Barry wanted to make AI say, because that's what this chart is. It's literally not based on any data except for what I wanted it to say. AI is literally shifting content trends. Sorry to say this one on the right here is not a video that I have here, but it is from a video. But the Shrek army invades Taco Bell. There's some fun benefits to some of this stuff, but a lot of it is just also totally garbage. Nice Shrek gif in the chat there. But yeah, the bar for relevant content and great storytelling is about to be raised, right? Where people are going to have shorter attention windows for irrelevant content. Authenticity is going to become a premium, and trust will become a differentiator because of how much of this untrustworthy stuff there's going to be, how much of this inauthentic stuff there's going to be. I think Alex and Dara talked about that in the previous presentation a little bit. And sadly, ignorance is bliss. A lot of people aren't going to care that some content is fake or not. They're going to, even the stuff that they should probably care about, some political stuff, they're probably just going to believe whatever they want to believe, and ignorance is bliss. So that's scary. Sorry to talk about that for a second, but we live in a scary time, and it's only going to get scarier. Let's talk about the uncanny valley of creative, which is actually kind of going away. So uncanny valley, real quick, it's that feeling you get when something isn't quite right, like something's almost human, but just a little bit off. You can tell from expressions, motion, and it triggers a little bit of cognitive dissonance in it. And as you'll see a little bit later in the presentation, AI is getting better at this. But
overpaying for home and auto insurance. Do you even know how much you're paying?
Feels a little bit off, right? That's me, obviously not real, but that is AI, an AI version of me. I uploaded to an AI platform to have it make me say stuff. Someone said that's real. Yeah, that's that's funny.
Overpaying for home and auto.
But yeah, so remember that script also, because you're gonna be hearing that same line a few more times throughout this presentation. So let's talk about the rising value of authenticity. It'd be nice if I could speak. Look at all these stats that ChatGPT also made up for me. How convenient. 80% of consumers prefer authentic ads. Sure. 3x higher engagement on human-led ads. Yeah. 60% increase in brand trust with real customers. Sure. drop-in recall for AI only content. Yeah, okay. Well, whatever. AI made these stats up. So whatever, maybe it's right. But similar to when I said earlier that relevance is multidimensional, so is authenticity. Content isn't simply like authentic or not. It's on a spectrum. Things like tone of voice, delivery, aesthetic, the source, like who's saying it, all of these things can matter to how authentic something feels like. And you can have, it's a give and take. If the aesthetic isn't very authentic, but the person is delivering it super authentically, that can make up for each other, one and the other. So you don't always have to have an ugly aesthetic. Sometimes you can, that'll help, but
here's the story of how I ended up getting bunion surgery and then starting Fulton.
This is from the shoe insole brand Fulton. I just wanted to share that little hook there because it's a relevant, authentic story with a relevant, authentic visual told by a founder. So just thought that was a good example here. Authenticity is hard to fake for now. The tools are getting better. And this whole kind of talk I'm talking about here is the race. We'll get into it a little bit more, but like the kind of race to the bottom here for authenticity. So real creators have to do more unique things to lower the likelihood of AI replicating it. You're going to need to get weirder, get messier, get uglier, do things that the AI wouldn't easily do or couldn't easily do, right? The shaky cam that I was showing before with the Falcon, that's harder to replicate. I mean, just shaking a camera isn't going to help you make better ads or better content, but you'll see what I'm saying. People are going to struggle to establish trust and authority, but that's what I would be prioritizing right now.
If you don't love traditional lipstick, you're going to love Jones Road lip tint.
Shout out Jones Road. Shout out Bobby Brown right there. One of the biggest weapons that Jones Road Beauty has is right there. That's Bobby Brown. She is one of the most, probably the number one authority in the makeup space. And not only is she an authority, but this is being shot in an authentic manner. So that is, I have no idea if this one's doing well or not. But at least I love the thought that's going into this. There's a lot of authentic visual aesthetic that's going into this that makes a lot of sense. And having her authority with that, it's an incredible killer pairing.
Don't love.
The authenticity arms race. So this is scary, but the winning content will be the human stuff AI hasn't figured out how to copy yet. And as AI improves, it'll be easier for AI to mimic human authenticity. So let's.
You're overpaying for home and auto insurance. Do you even know how much you're paying?
That's much better than the one I showed you before of me, right? Still not great, but pretty good.
You're overpaying for home
I don't think a lot of people would clock this as AI.
and auto insurance. Do you even know how much you're paying?
Pretty realistic. Audio's not ideal, I guess, but pretty good. And human creators are going to need to do more things that AI can't or wouldn't do like that, or that your audiences wouldn't believe or care about if AI did do.
You're overpaying.
We already got it. Okay. So let's talk about some tactics for advertisers in the age of AI. Authentic human storytelling. Adara, I think, said this earlier, and I think this is going to be key. And I think building up more and more authenticity, more and more trust is going to be the ultimate value going forward. And especially when you can combine authority and authenticity to create compelling and relevant stories, and particularly founder stories. Oops. Did I use this video twice? Oh, I didn't mean to use that twice. Sorry, y'all. I should have had something else in there. I'm going to figure out what it was supposed to have in there. But yeah, make content that your audience consumes. You want to make ads that align with the content your audience consumes, human-made or AI, right? If your audience is consuming AI content, then make AI content. If your audience is making human stuff, then try and make human stuff, and also maybe use AI to make that. But either way, you want to be focusing on quickly and unambiguously being relevant to your audience. That is what matters the most. And you want to be empathizing with your audience and empathizing with the creators that make the content that your audience consumes. So if your audience consumes a lot of stuff from like, I don't know, Mr. Beast or Whistling Diesel or I don't know, any number of big content creators, right? If you can emulate or empathize and then emulate what kind of content they're generating for those platforms, you'll benefit from it. So if you're into AI, if your audience is into AI, maybe making some sort of like weird AI little thing like that, like a bag, maybe that's going to be good. Maybe not. Maybe it's going to work for your regular audience anyway, regardless of it being AI or not. Don't over polish. Classic had to get the old make ugly ads in there. Find ways to shoot and talk in a human way that AI can't or wouldn't. And instead of waiting for a big studio shoot, just go shoot something now. One of the biggest benefits of like making something ugly is that you can just make it quickly, make a lot of it, and make it for cheap, which is fundamentally relatable to the way a lot of content is made by a lot of content creators. They just make a lot of different stuff and they don't worry about perfecting it. So just go make stuff. And you can see here, classic post-it note. That's my real handwriting, not AI handwriting. Or is it AI? Anyone want to guess? Let me know. Dara said, prove it. I don't know how I could actually prove it to you. But yeah, that one is probably not AI. All right. So one of the things you're going to need to do is create, learn, and iterate rapidly. Again, AI or not, the key to success here is doing this quickly. I literally tweeted today that one of the biggest like problems I see in creative strategy and like just the creative food chain is teams spending way too much time tweaking ads before they go live and not enough time studying how they actually perform after they go live. So like instead of like saying like, oh, I think we need to tweak it here and make this better and make this, like just let it go, set it live, learn about it, see if it works, see if it fails, and then iterate later, fix it later. Just move faster, because if you don't, someone else will. And the faster you move, the faster you learn, the faster you learn, the faster you iterate, the faster you iterate, the faster you learn again. It's about speed. That cycle is really, really important. And I'm going to show you why in a second. So, and you got to build your teams for this. Lean teams are going to move more nimbly, and lean teams are going to be who win here. And AI is going to help with that. So the reason I'm bringing this up is we've already seen this kind of insurance thing we've had a couple ads about here. Here's another one.
Paying for home and auto insurance. Do you even know how much you're paying? Are the big insurance companies increasing your rates every year?
I think we're getting better. I think these are getting a little bit better. Let me know. I don't know. Maybe this one's worse than the other two. I actually think this is better than the last one. Someone definitely said it's worse. Someone said it's fake. Maybe that one's fake. Maybe that one is. Maybe the lip sync isn't good. Maybe that's a lag. I don't know. I don't think it is. Get good at using AI. Look, first of all, anyone who's here, you're in the top % of advertisers, right? Like pat yourself on the back for being here right now. Thank you, by the way, again, to Motion for putting this together. But shout out to yourselves. Shout out to everyone who's here, who's bettering their lives and improving yourselves, right? Like you are the top % of marketers. There are so many other people who aren't here right now, who aren't even trying, okay? So they're going to be left behind. Keep working on it. Keep learning. Keep listening to Alex Cooper. Like he's so far ahead of me. I'm like, I got to catch up. Like Dara said, like I was like, how do I keep up with him? But just keep trying. Keep playing with the tools. Keep learning, because AI might kind of be the enemy for some of us, but it also needs to be our best friend. We have to use AI to help us tell relevant stories. Even if you don't make a full AI ad, you can still use AI components in your ads to help support and show a case. Like you can show problems, you can show certain things better with AI that you couldn't possibly afford to shoot yourself, or like find stock footage for it. And the better you can understand and work with AI, the better you're going to be able to compete. And if you don't, someone else using AI is going to do it better.
You're
than you.
overpaying for home and auto insurance. Do you even know how much you're paying? Are the big insurance companies increasing your rates
We're getting
every
better?
year?
I think we're getting better.
Texas homeowners are paying an average of $1,700 more than the average homeowner on insurance.
Is that one real? Was that real or was that fake? This
Texas
one's fake?
homeowners are paying an average of
This is
$1,700
fake?
more than the average homeowner on insurance.
He's too pretty and he's not blinking. Okay. Guess you guys haven't heard of hiring actors before. Okay. Well, yes, those are fake. Yes. Okay. Someone said steering wheels in a weird place. Sure. Okay. So what's the future of social advertising? It's going to keep evolving and fast. What looks native today may feel stale in 6 months. I think that fundamental, that premise is why so many people are struggling with advertising right now. I think there are a lot of people who made ads like 2, 3, 4 years ago that expected them to keep working and keep working and keep working and kept iterating on those same things. And then now the content isn't relevant anymore. And they can't understand it. They can't understand that or understand why that's happening, but that's what's happening. So you have to stay up. You have to stay relevant with your audience and make sure you're making content that matters and make sure that that makes sense to and relates to your audience. And people are consuming hyper relevant content now. The stuff that I see in my feed for like my personal life is very different than the stuff that I see for my work Instagram account. Like, by the way, have multiple Instagram accounts. If you want me to like prove to you that this is true, just create a new Instagram account and go find a piece of content and stop and watch it. And that's different than your normal set of interests. And you will see that the algorithm will serve you more of that. Go search for something. Go search for chess. Go search for trains. The second you start engaging with that stuff, it will start in your regular feed on TikTok or Instagram, Facebook, whatever. It will start showing you more of that content. So you can be intentional about it. Like I literally have one I have an Instagram that I go to look at car stuff. I have an Instagram about like beer stuff. I have an Instagram about ad stuff. And each of those have different feeds. And if that's true about me, I'm one person. Imagine how different the content that I'm consuming is different than you, any of you. So we're all seeing different things and it's hyper relevant to us. And there are going to be some things that are going to be relevant to a lot of us. But there's also going to be a lot of things that are going to be too specific. And here's, as AI shifts the look of the feed, the definition of native is going to shift with it. And also consumers might soon become immune to AI image ads, as everyone's seen all of these on Twitter and all these new tools that can make thousands of image ads for you in, a second for 5 cents. I think the market's going to get flooded with this stuff, and it might take some time, but I think audiences are going to get really bored with it, and algorithms are going to start to move away from delivering a lot of these. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think that this type of image ad is so far from the kind of content that consumers are consuming on social media. I struggle to see how a lot of these will continue to be relevant, but maybe they're different enough. Maybe they're relevant enough quickly to the right audiences that they're still going to work, even though they are clearly ads. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. But remember that it's going to be gradual if this changes. Real quick here, to be a buzzkill. People are going to be starting to get flooded with misinformation as if they're not already. And it's going to become harder to trust and verify the authenticity of some content. This is just a scary part of what's happening. And I'm bringing this up because there might be regulations on how fake or AI content can be created or distributed, but also just to keep this in mind that this is something your audience is dealing with. And people are dealing with it in different ways. Some of them are just consuming it and believing it. And some of them are like, whoa, I don't know what to believe anymore. And some of them are like, oh yeah, I definitely know this stuff is fake. So the world is changing and you got to pay attention to it. Don't don't shelter yourself. You need, as a marketer, as an advertiser, you need to be aware of what's going on here. And what's next? AI software and agents are going to help produce and guide more relevant ad creation, right? As Alex has talked a lot about, ad platforms are also going to be taking away more manual controls. If anything we've seen over the years, Meta has been taking away ad controls from users, and they're also building more and more AI creative options right into their platform. And I think authentic authority is going to reign supreme, and it's going to only become more and more valuable. Now, let's see if this one is AI or real.
Stop overpaying for home and auto insurance. Do you even know how much you're paying? Are the big insurance companies increasing your rates every year?
Now, is that real? Is that the clip that I used to base all the other clips on? Or is that also AI? Does it even matter is a question I got there. Someone said fake but best looking. Someone saying AI. No, that was the real thing. That was a real person. Yeah. No, actually, sorry, that was AI. That I created that in Veo, which is, I'm going to say it, absolutely fucking terrifying for a lot of reasons. As someone who makes ads and is in ads, it's kind of awesome that I can actually make stuff like that. Yeah, if someone was looking closely at the interior of the car, I actually kind of chose a version
Stop overpaying.
Yeah, this kind of, it actually wasn't perfect, but she's pretty spot on. But I did intentionally choose something that like was a little funky, but I've made some in here that are not funky at all. This is using Veo 3. This is using Google Veo 3 without even trying very hard. Especially the fact that like this audio, I didn't have to do the voiceover. That's Veo did that. Veo did her audio with the inflection and the pacing and the timing. Now that is new, and that is exciting and also terrifying. Like it just made this person and gave her that voice, and she was able to speak in a similar way that I would. And yeah, unfortunately, Veo does give you everything in wide, but I was able to figure out how to get it to make it horizontal and rotate it vertical, which is really annoying. But yeah, this is scary. I like seeing a lot of you are scary here, or kind of like saying like, "Whoa, that's weird." But I'm just gonna play it again real quick though.
For home and auto insurance. Do you even know how much you're paying? Are the big insurance companies?
I mean, like the telltale signs that we talked about the uncanny valley, they're just not here. Like, I don't see them. I don't smell. And like, I've made a bunch of these, and almost all of them pass my sniff test. So the fact that right now all you can do is 8-second clips is great. In that, you know, it's limiting, but it will be very interesting in the near future when people can start stitching together those 8-second clips, or using them, you know, in different ways, or just using them as hooks. Because now, for me to get this piece of content, I would have had to if I wanted to get this piece of content from a creator, I'd have to find the right creator who had the right look, who was in the right age demographic, who had the right accent, right? Who's able to read the line the way I want them to. That's one of my biggest problems. I put in the word incredulously in the reading of the line, and I was able to get that. And basically, I mean, this was maybe V4 that I tried, and the previous versions were just aesthetic differences, but like the read was perfectly good. Again, this was used on Veo 3. This was using Veo 3, which just came out, you know, days ago, which was incredible to have the timing of making. The benefit of making this deck very last minute was that I got to play with a new tool just in time to put it into this. So you're getting like hot off the presses. Literally, I just made this stuff like 2 days ago.
Stop overpaying.
All right. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm shocked at how fast I went, and I thought I'd go way over time. We're only a little bit behind. This is also a real picture of me, obviously, definitely not AI generated at all. But yes, any questions?
Barry, oh my gosh, that was incredible. I feel like you added the right energy So it's needed. Everybody, before we get to Q&A, show some love in the chat. You have to. Round of applause.
There
Round
it
of
is.
applause.
I hope this is valuable for everyone. If you didn't find it valuable or you wanted me to double click into more, yeah, heckle me on Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever. I'd love to hear it. But yeah, I'd love to hear some questions here. Anything I can do to talk about this. I find this topic to be crazy, and to have gotten to work on this, it brought me so much closer to this problem. So I really enjoyed getting to talk about and think about this. And yeah, we'll make sure we'll share this presentation out so you guys can look at some of the slides I kind of zoomed through a little bit closer there. But I'm excited for a lot of you to get to play with both Veo. I definitely recommend for anyone working in this space. I hate to I don't make any money from saying this, but I would definitely recommend paying the $100-something a month to Google to get access to the AI Ultra, whatever it is, so that you can just play with it without the limitations. For anyone who doesn't want to do that, if you have Google AI Pro or whatever it is, you get like 5 a day. And yeah, you should definitely go play with it. And also when you play with it, think about how evil someone could be with it. And just keep that in your mind as you start to see content out in the wild in the very near future, because it's terrifying. Sorry, buzzkill.
I feel like we've had so many conversations like that, talking about the benefits and then the terrifying, like, oh gosh, what is this going to be? What are our lives going to look like?
Yeah, it's weird. What are our lives going to look like? I don't know. I really I don't know, but I'm eager to see, I guess. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Everybody, we could bore you with some vacuum talk, but I do want to get to some of your questions here. So, Barry, there's a range of questions. Some that are AI, some that are more like foundational to the approach. I'll start with one of the more foundational ones from Carolina. So, how do you accurately figure out what your audience is consuming?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so first of all, I hate to, well, I'll plug my own course because that's a big part of what we talk about there. But you can't even get into it right now because we started the cohort already. But the simple thing is do what I said before. Create a new Instagram and do TikTok specifically pursuing that interest. And that's it. That's pretty much it. And then study that content, right? Like don't make content that's relevant to you. Find the styles of content, find the themes and trends and aesthetics, and make that. There you go. I hope that answers your question.
Layup, super easy. And then let's jump over to an AI question. So we get negative comments whenever we use AI in our ads. How do you respond in the ad comments, or do you just delete them?
Oh, I love this question because I have a lot of opinions about ad comments. First of all, anything that's negative or criticizing your product or your ad or whatever, you have every right to hide it. It's an ad. Like if you had a billboard up and for Pepsi, and someone spray painted and said, Pepsi sucks, buy Coke, like they're gonna take that down. So it's the same thing. Like, first of all, hide those. Second, I think this problem is about to become a lot smaller of a problem. The other thing is make better, less obvious AI content. One of the tricks I've seen is put the AI further away from the camera, try not to have their hands in view. Maybe use them as green screened over something else. So that there's a lot that you can do. You can also lower the resolution or the bit rate of the video to make it even uglier. There's a lot that you can do. And also voice wise, trying to either use a real voiceover and have it related, with 11 Labs, converted with 11 Labs or Arc Ads, both shout out to them. They both offer that. So yeah, there's a lot there that you can do. And yeah, I wouldn't even respond to a lot of them, but if it's a reasonable question, respond to it.
Awesome, Barry. Next one up we have is from Kim. It says, basically restating, when you say to shoot and talk in a human way that AI can't or wouldn't, can you give some specific examples?
Yeah, that's going to become harder, right? Like right now, for me to do, I can use Veo. I mean, maybe I can just show you what I did in Veo. Let me see if I can pull it up while we talk about this. But like in Veo, you can have someone do a walk and talk, and like it looks real. So like what I would say to you is, how do you have that walk and talk have more moments that are like human and unique, and pause and have something dynamic happen that you wouldn't really put into like an AI version of it, but maybe that's worse. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I can actually quickly show this, unfortunately. But like I have some like examples of like people like just having people walking, and it just looks, and walking and talking while selfieing, and it just looks legit. So yeah.
Huge. Okay, I
Yeah.
feel like it wouldn't be a conversation about like ugly ads if we didn't get a question like this one. So
Mhm.
how do you balance ugly ads while maintaining branding and even loop in AI, and any thoughts you have there?
Yeah. So this is a classic question about ugly ads, and it's like, what's more what's more premium, like shooting someone wearing a fancy, like if you're trying to sell a watch, like shooting the watch on a $10,000 camera on someone's wrist, right? Is that more premium? Is that more important? Or shooting it on an iPhone, but you're in a private jet? Which of those is more premium? Which of those is more luxury? So find ways to make it more authentic and believable, because most of the content people are consuming on the feed are not shot on a $10,000 camera. I meant to say this in the presentation, but like you can go check out an interview with Mr. Beast with Colin and Samir. There's several of them, so good luck finding this clip. But Mr. Beast actually talks about how he used to use 4K or 8K cameras or whatever it is for his channel, but he stopped. They just stopped uploading in recording and uploading in higher quality stuff because it looked too good, and the audiences didn't want that. This is the same problem, but like Mr. Beast has basically infinite resources to make whatever he wants, and he's literally choosing to use cheaper cameras and cheaper lenses for most of his content. Now for his TV show Beast Games, very different. They're using professional stuff because that's for TV where that stuff belongs. So, you know, that it's just make stuff for where it belongs. And someone here said, like, I just saw a comment, like, my clients never approve ugly ads I send them. Send them my way. I'll bash them over the head and tell them that they're, but really the trick I usually tell them, I would tell someone like you is like, say like $500. Give me $500. Give me $1,000 to spend on this. If this doesn't work, I'm the idiot. If this does work and we make money from it, hooray, right? And now we have to change our mindset about all of this. So yeah, it's a tough one for sure. And by the way, ugly ads, when I say ugly ads, people think I mean like make it really bad. What I just mean is like, don't make it as pretty as you want. Don't make it as pretty as your marketing brain wants it to. Cause like anything less pretty than that is successful.
I feel like this conversation is so much related to like how to train someone to have that conversation. Because we're not saying like ugly or not. It's just like, what's the vocabulary to basically have that conversation?
Totally. I did find out I can show something in Flow if you give me a second here, which should be exciting for this audience. So let me share my screen. Oh wait, I said I stopped sharing. Was I sharing that whole time?
No, that was me and the questions.
No, I hit stop sharing your screen.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's all good. Perfect,
Okay,
perfect.
Here we go. So I'm really letting you see what's going on here. This is my inner workings in my Flow, and this is Veo 3 right here. So I want you guys, I'm sorry that this is sideways. Turn your heads, okay? But I did this with minimal input. Here we go.
Texas homeowners are paying an average of $1,700 more than the average homeowner on insurance. Let FreshQuote help.
Like, that's...
homeowners are paying an...
that's crazy. I I will start, like someone said here, like throw some background ambience in there. Yeah, there's no noise, right? Oh, that's 100% why. Yeah, my feedback is like, oh, I need to add in some just like, noise, just like birds chirping and whatever. But I have that queued up. I use Descript. I have sound effects queued up like that. That's no problem. And then like, what else do I stitch that to? What else happens after that? What else can I actually, I'm just trying to think like with AI, what else can I have show in the background? Can I have it say like, have an airplane fly overhead? Not that it matters, but can I just throw that in there and will it do it? Maybe. So yeah, and anyone who's asking to see the prompt, guys, it was 90% of the prompt was just describing what she looks like. Just to be specific, I was like, and a 30-year-old woman with like whatever heritage, this color hair, this color eyes, this type of smile, the type of lighting, where she's walking. What I said, she's walking in a specific part of Texas. So like, I had some like, I'm just being specific, just trying to see like what it is, like what I can get away with. I mean, it doesn't matter what my prompt is. I promise you, have more fun trying different prompts. And also the trick I would say is to come up with what you want the person to look like, do it in ChatGPT first or an image generator first, get a good concise prompt of what you want a person to look like, and it'll probably translate over into that video really well. And also Veo lets you take an image and turn it into a video. So actually I'll share my screen again in a second. If you'll give me a second here. I know we're over time, but this is nuts.
Of course. Let's do it.
And you can't do audio with this yet. Okay. But this is kind of crazy. And by the way, if you could do audio with this, which I'm kind of glad that you can't, because it's kind of terrifying that you can do stuff like this. But like literally, I just uploaded a photo here. Can you see this? I uploaded a single frame. This frame right here. I uploaded a single frame and gave it a prompt, and it did this. Like, there's a lot more. I mean, I did a lot of other silly stuff in here that actually doesn't look so good. I was doing something with rotten gummy worms. But like this one. I mean, like, you can't hear me talking because I won't do audio with these. Actually, that's not the one I wanted to show you. Yeah, like it can just zoom in. That resolution isn't like that quality isn't there. It just made it up. It just guessed. And it guessed pretty good. It still pretty much looks like me good enough. So yeah. There's this one. It's where it start to be like, okay, well, I mean, like it just did that. So we're in a weird world. Once it adds audio in there and I don't even have to talk, I'll just literally take a selfie of myself in a setting and then I'll just throw it in and I'll just like, yeah. And then boom, I'll go do 20 versions of it in Veo instead of having to go film it out in public on the street. So yeah, that's Veo 3 in Google Flow, I think it's called. So many different words you have to learn. It's so annoying.
It's okay. We got marketers here. They've learned all the acronyms under the sun, so they can hang. They can hang.
Yeah, it's
Very, this has been incredible. Is there any final words you want to leave with our audience today?
Wait, I saw one note here I want to hit on before we go. Someone said, how are you pairing the audio to the videos you showed before? Some of the ones I showed before, I just gave it the script and it made the audio for it. Veo will literally do that. It won't do that if you upload the image right now. So that's an important difference with Google Veo is like if you upload an image, you can't give it audio right now, which is kind of terrifying that will exist probably any day now or any week now, because you can literally upload a video of anyone you know and make them say anything you want. Celebrity, friend, whatever it is, that's terrifying. There are also other tools that will add that to it, but it's not as good. Some of the other ones I showed earlier were not as good, and those were from other tools. But yeah, it's a weird world. And last things, I don't know, go make ugly ads. Find me on Twitter, find me on LinkedIn. Check out my course, Building Ads with Barry. Also, if you like this, I have another presentation tomorrow about landing pages and how to test landing pages with Facebook ads for the conversion rate conference. So check that out. weird week for me. I've spent 2 nights in the last week till 2 a.m. working on decks. I love it.
Everybody show love in the chat for Barry. This is absolutely incredible. He gave you so many sneak peeks, all of the different examples. This is so great. This is so great. Thank you, Barry.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate this. Let me know if you have anything I could have done better. Let me know. Send me a message or something on Twitter, LinkedIn. I appreciate it.
It's time to ship more winning creative with Motion's creative analytics platform that helps you scale winners into unicorns and helps you figure out where your ads might need just a little more help. Join over 2,100 teams shipping winning ads with Motion like Fiori, True Classic, Hexclad, and more. Get a free VIP tour today, and you can see how Motion can help your creative strategists and your media buyers speak the same language.